My friend, welcome back to this one. Today is a day for energy. I believe everything is energy. Have you ever seen someone and you're like, yeah, this person is not I don't get a good vibe from this person? Have you ever seen, I don't know, for me, everything is energy. The moment the energy doesn't click, I'm off. Today I'm excited because I have Cornelia, and Cornelia has spent a fair share of her life studying energy. She is the energy person. And I wanted to bring her on because if you master your energy, you can really master the game of life. It's my fair belief that if you master energy, you really can master the game of life, influence, and every other thing. What I believe Cornelia does, which she will tell us everything she does, but what I believe she does is I believe she helps people become contagious. Have you ever been around someone and you just feel better and you just don't want to leave? Like you feel more successful or you feel more happier or you feel more. There's these people who lift your energy up. I think it's the work that she does. Like, how can you become that person who people want around because of how you make them feel, because of how expansive they feel around you? That is, I think, what she does. Cornelia, welcome to the World's Best Kept Secret podcast. It's my honor to have you on today.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Prima, to have me. It's amazing. And thank you for this very, very cool introduction. I think we're already done with the interview, right? You already mentioned everything. Maybe there are some details left, but it's a very, very inspiring opening.
I would love to ask you a question. Tell the listener what you do. I didn't do it because I want you to tell us what you do.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually a very good question. So I will squeeze it in two things I'm doing. And the first thing is that, as you already said, we don't see energy, we can't touch it, but we all can feel it, right? And sometimes we lost a little bit this ability. But this feeling of energy, and it has so much to do how much energy we are having, also how we feel. Because if you're really angry or sad or anxious, then we kind of, our body language, we kind of shrink a little bit together. And then also our energy body is much smaller and we are having less energy. Whereas when you're really it's the perfect day, you're sparkling and everything just goes the way you want it, then you have lots of energy and people can feel that as well. And the thing is, what I see is that this energy is around us. So when we are standing next to each other, which the two of us don't do right now, but even if we are now connected via Zoom, in a way also our energy is mingled. And that's what many people forget. So sometimes when you're standing next to somebody, you can kind of pick up stuff from other person around you. And then you just can also feel these energies and these emotions and these thoughts from other person. So what I'm showing, on one side, I'm showing really you, in a way, to get from this low energy person to a high energy person within 3 minutes. I can show you how you can recharge your energy and how you can manage your energy, you mentioned before. And on the other side, so this is kind of the quick fix to have a lot of energy to run your business. On the other side, that's what I'm doing is that many entrepreneurs don't see that their personal energy, their personal belief system runs their business and also limits their business. So you can't grow your business bigger than what you think or believe where your business can be because of your belief system. And here I'm stepping in and pointing out some limiting beliefs to people, and then we can transform these limiting beliefs within, I don't know, couple of minutes, and then they can continue growing their business. So in a way, I'm challenging them on where they're limiting them and saboteuring themselves.
When I last had a chat with Cornelia, I was struggling to understand the work because I am new to energy. Like I am just taking notes, like you maybe. And so I said, explain to me exactly as a layman what this is. And she told me she was an electric engineer most of her life. And it made sense to me because that's my background. So when she said, think about electric energy, then I got it. Like we've got to move electric from this side to this side. For the light to bulb, there has to be the flow of energy from somewhere to the bulb. And if there are blocks, if there are sockets, if there anything that blocks that, you will see because the bulb won't go on. Or maybe your fuse will blow up, or maybe you just won't have power. And that is what happens when you're not able to emit the right energy. To your statement, Cornelia, I really think that the less we can be in person, the more it's necessary to be able to have the right energy. I don't know what you think about that, but I think that the less physical proximity I have, the more intentional I think that the energy has to be. Otherwise, it can be very easy for me to just like check out. What do you say about that?
I think in a way the energy, it's your energy changes continuously, and it depends in a way, as you said, on what you think and how you feel. And most of the time is because of our childhood, when we couldn't deal with many emotions or thoughts, then we kind of store them in our system, because normally an emotion runs through our system no longer than 90 seconds. But if you don't, but from our parents, I didn't learn it, and I know maybe you didn't learn it as well. We never learned how to deal with bigger emotions. And so in a way, we did the worst thing we could do at that time, because nobody taught you to hang on to this emotion. So kind of this emotion wants to run through your system, and then you capture it, right, and store it somewhere in your system. And there it's lingering around. And some of these emotions have very low frequencies. And in a way, what I'm also saying is these stored emotions and beliefs, they need to get out of your system, and then you are freeing this captured energy. You have more energy in your system, and you also having a higher frequency, because all these stored emotions and beliefs, they kind of have like guilt and shame. They are the lowest vibrating frequencies. And this is also, I know at the moment meditating is very fancy and in, right? Everybody is meditating, and I think it's completely cool, yeah. But first of all, when you're really stressed or busy or you're having a problem, most of the time you don't have the time to meditate in that moment. And on the other side, of course, with meditation, you can raise your frequency. You feel much better, right? And you have more energy. But the problem is, if you still have these lingering, very strong, low vibrating frequencies in your system, you always fall back into your natural state. So the only way long-term, in a sustainable way out of it, is to free these emotions and beliefs.
I like it. What needs to be known about Cornelia is she's written a book about personal energy management, and she has a show called The Energy on the Show. So in the show notes, you will definitely find those things, and you're welcome to dive in and kind of see how she looks at the world, how she looks at career, how she looks at business, because she believes that if you master your energy, you can see quantum leaps in business, in life, pretty much everywhere. Cornelia, I would love to ask you, like, what problem do your human beings that you serve know they have? Because I've never heard anyone saying I need energy flow, or I have an energy flow. Like I didn't even know it was a thing until you came in my Zoom room. So what problem? I would love for you to kind of describe for me what would have to be happening for me to know that, oh, I need this lesson. What are my symptoms? Maybe that's the question. Like how can I, what's the word? I want to qualify myself for this interview, and I'm going, I wonder if this is my kind of interview. I wonder if I should keep listening. Help me understand what would be happening in my world to kind of go, oh my God, I need to lean in. This is it.
Oh, wow. I completely understand. You know, actually, there are two type of people coming to me right now. So the first one is, and that's really a big one. I didn't pay so much attention to it, but I see it everywhere. I don't know if you know, like in Europe 2 years ago, we had this energy crisis. So we were running out of gas, and there were prices were peaking, and the security of supply. People first time were aware, oh, maybe we don't have enough energy, and then our social life breaks down. And in parallel to this, I observed that more and more people are dealing with burnouts because they were just kind of using, consuming, running their energy, and then all of a sudden their body just stops. So people with burnouts or on the verge of burnouts are coming to me. And on the other side, many people are coming and especially entrepreneurs, and here even more women, they are stuck with their business, and they have tried, most of the time they have tried lots of different things. They have a business coach and mindset coach and whatever, but they're still stuck with their business. And then they kind of last resort, and they figure out, okay, same as you, I just heard about energy management, let's try this one as well. And then we look at it at the same problem from the energetic side, right? And like we don't have, also your business has its own energy, you have your own energy, and there is not only one level to it. On our personal energy, we have the physical level, and then we have the energetic, emotional, and on the mental, and also the spiritual energy. And you have to work on, if you haven't reached your goal yet, there is a reason behind it. And that's where, and I step in, I work with my clients. You know, you have this problem, and we solve all the blockades on all levels, so you reach your goal.
So if I'm feeling burnout, if I'm feeling stressed, if I'm feeling stuck, if I feel like my goals are just up there and I'm up here and I don't see how I'm progressing to those goals, these are signs that I might be in the wrong energy. Is this the same as frequency? Is energy the same as frequency? Or vibration? Or what is the word?
No, energy is kind of the vibration in a certain time. And actually, in a way, everything is just a frequency. But from people, if they're not an engineer, it's very difficult to grasp, you know. So I'm vibrating on this frequency. Most people don't understand, you know, so I can't communicate with them. But if I say, you know, you have lots of energy, people can feel that. And that's why it's more tangible for them. That's why I'm using mainly energy.
The energy, let me understand. The energy is like, people tell me I have a lot of energy. So are you saying energy is like me? I like speak with vigor and courage, and I am really excited about what I do, and I want people to get it. So I am just wondering, like, is that the energy? Because sometimes my energy is too much. Like when I listen to Tony Robbins, as amazing as he is, his energy is a little bit too much for me. I love the guy. I think he's the best at what he does, but that energy can be overwhelming for me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that the same thing? Or because the way I'm thinking about okay. In
a way, it's the same thing. And of course I know Tony Robbins, and I also like what he's doing. Who doesn't, right? But the thing is, with energy, it's going in both directions, right? Of course, you're here, right? And there are two ways where you can manage your energy. Either you can increase it, right? So you have more energy if you want to, But maybe before, if you go to bed, you can lower it and say all the energy that is not needed that flows out of your system. So it's always going in both ways. You decide, that's the management. And that's the beauty about it. You can adjust your energy to your actual needs, right?
Yeah, you can. I'd like to go a little bit and tap into your story, because I know everything you do is from the School of Hard Knocks. You've lived, breathed this. It's like your tears, your frustrations, everything you've gone through, which you're teaching. So I'd love to dip my toes into your story and kind of pick that up, because I think it's a very good piece to the work you do. Do you mind getting in a little bit, maybe in 3 minutes or so, on kind of getting us into the story of how you got to this whole energy discovery, if you don't mind?
Yeah. My story in a way is that it started when I was around 4 years old, because I'm still, maybe that's the idea, the spirit of the engineering. I'm always very interested in how things work, and how things, develop. And I was always so interested when my mom kind of plugged in a mixer or like a vacuum cleaner, and then all of a sudden the magic happened and these things were working. And I was always wondering what's behind there. And it made me so curious that I wanted to know what's behind the socket. And that's why I studied electrical engineering. And now I can tell you, I know how electric energy comes into the socket and into the mixer and how it works. And as I said, so I started working in the energy industry. And as you maybe can imagine, it's very male dominated. And even during my studies, I always had to be better, prove that I'm smarter, work longer hours. So it's kind of continuously proving myself. And so I got into this direction that I was kind of always doing too much. And then I got really sick. And the way that was outlined to me by the traditional medicine, I just knew I couldn't do it. There was so much internal resistance in me. And then I realized, come on, you're an engineer. So you always know there are more than one solutions to a problem. So just go and find the other solutions that are there. And so I did a lot of research, read a lot of books, listened to a lot of podcasts and so ever. And then I discovered the quantum science. And now you'll say, oh, quantum science, yeah. But for me, it opened a completely new world, right? Because what does quantum science say? It just says everything is energy and everything has a frequency. And as an electric engineer, I understand, I know what the frequency is. I can work with energies. So I started, looking at my body, like every organ, the cells and everything. It's vibrating on different frequencies. So I started working on them. How can I change the frequencies? How can I change my energies? How can I manage them? So as I was my guinea pig. I was experimenting with myself. And that's how I kind of developed these exercises, because I was still in my corporate job. I had my family, so there were many things there were to do, and I figured out that I wanted to have something that is quick, simple, and I can use in that moment when I really need it. That was always very important for me. And then my kids came, Mom, can you help me here? And then, friends and friends of friends. So that's how things in a way developed. They just started noticing that I had more energy, was always kind of in good mood. I was higher productivity, much more efficient. Things kind of flew, right? And people started noticing. And that's how I kind of ended up now having my own business, and I still have so much energy that I'm still in my corporate job and I'm having my business on my side and doing both. And I wrote my book. So energy is definitely not an issue for me anymore.
I wonder what the turning point was for you. When did you decide it was going to be about energy and quantum science? When did you decide I need to, I don't know, what was the turning point for you if you look back?
I think the turning point was definitely when I read Dr. Joe Dispenza's book. In German, it would say the new me, but I don't know the English, the title. And he just, the concept of saying every thought has its own frequency, or even every word, and this impact of these frequencies on my body and the way I feel, that was kind of the turning point when I thought, that's it. Yeah, this is I understand that. I want to know more about it.
So the question I have now is, am I right in saying that your energy can be, I don't know, I want to think that sadness, anger, anxiety, stress, fear, shame, guilt, all that produces energy. But the way that I feel about that energy is contraction. So when you feel anxious, when you feel fear, when you feel depressed, when you feel shame, when you feel guilt, when you feel these negative emotions, I kind of in my head, I'm thinking those are feelings of contraction. And when, on the other hand, when you're excited, when you're happy, when you're ambitious, when you are making things happen, when you're having joy, I want to think that that's a different, maybe expansive energy. In my head, that's how it's coming through. So first of all, is there anywhere even fair estimation of like energy? Because I want someone else to kind of understand what, like, the difference in energies.
It's perfect.
Okay, so I would love for you to demonstrate for me, because I know you have created thought leadership, written a book, have a show about it. So you definitely have like a system or a framework to take us from what I like to call maybe the contraction type of energy to the expansive type of energy, which people love to be around. Do you mind taking me through that? How can I start to think through moving myself from maybe shame, guilt, frustration to the other side, which is like joy, happiness, really being, I think that's the word I am always looking for, contagious, where people just feel like, I feel like people go to Tony Robbins' event because you just feel like you're in another world when you're around him, which can really help for most people feel like, okay, this is good. And maybe that's why his events are like packed, because of how people feel when they're in a room with him. So if I was to move my energy from wherever I am to a place where I would create that kind of vibe, how does it look like?
Yeah, the good news is, you don't need Tony Robbins to do so. Of course, he's doing a great job, nothing about it, and I can feel the energy just when you're talking about him. But, I give you a very simple example. Like being angry or something, it happens to me as well. It's just life, and we have a lot of history. But, one thing happens at work, like somebody says something to me and I feel that I'm angry. So what most people would probably do to push it aside, or they would kind of, their mind in a way would start working, yes, but it's so true, he couldn't have said that to you, and you're right that you're angry, and you're not allowed to allow that, but something like this. What I do, and that was kind of a process. So first of all, I notice I'm angry. I'm angry because of this situation. And what I do then afterwards is I look behind the scenes. That's what personal energy management is all about. I want to know why this feeling angry because this person said something to me, where it's in my life in the first place. Because probably this person could say the same sentence to my coworker, and the coworker wouldn't even react on it. So it has something to do with me and with my life. It's the way how I am interpreting this sentence. And then I look back and find out, why is it making me angry? It's just a sentence in a way. I could react in 1,000 different ways, but I'm angry. And that's where the personal energy management starts. I look behind the scenes, and of course now I'm pretty quick, right? Most of the time it's something that happened in my childhood. Then I be there, I solve the issue there. So in a child work or whatever it is necessary, this can be done, in 10 minutes. And then I release all this anger, these stored emotions, these limiting beliefs, and everything connected with it, forgiveness. So yeah, it's a pretty packed process within 10 minutes. And then it's gone. And I don't feel angry anymore. And the good thing, the really, really good thing about it is that if another person comes in and I'm in a similar situation, it doesn't trigger me anymore because I solved the root cause. And that's why personal energy management is so much more powerful compared to mindset work, because mindset work, you're overwriting something with a limiting belief. Let's say you have to have these limiting beliefs on post-its all over the place, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and you always remember, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. But you're overwriting your actual belief, I'm not good enough, if it's like this, right? And it takes so long, and it's not sustainable. So for me, it's just for more powerful, and that's what I'm working on, to work with the person. Why is this limiting belief, I'm not good enough, in the life of the person, and work there.
So what I'm with you there. So the first thing is to realize that you have that energy or whatever you've picked up. I'm angry, I am anxious, I am depressed, I am whatever. And then you go, why am I feeling like this? Okay. And there seems to be work that happens there, which you're saying it uproots the root cause. I wonder if you could give us more of that process, or is it the two-step, or is there other steps from like how I move from sad to now I know how to deal with it? Or also I'm wondering, is this more like a management system of life happens, people make you angry, but it is the ability to bounce back, or is it the ability to say, there is something triggering me and that is uprooted every time it comes, so I don't have to be triggered by the same thing? I seem to be unclear around like the process at the moment.
Okay. Yes, it's a good point. And I can only go with an example, right? Let's go back to my example. So I notice I'm angry. So what I then know, in a way, I connect with my, and this is a process. With this process, I can find out by asking myself, or I can do it for somebody else. Let's call it, I'm asking myself, what's the root cause? How old have I been when this happened the first time? So I'm trying to guide myself backwards into the situation where it first happened. And I have like, now I can kind of, I'm pretty quick on this. So now I can kind of get the information. It's stored somewhere in my energy system, and I can download it from there, the information. But for somebody who hasn't done it before, you ask yourself, okay, when did I feel this anger the first time? And then you figure out, okay, how old have I been? Let's say I was 2 years old or whatever. And then you can ask, who was involved in this situation? Your parents, whatever. And most of the time, you don't need to know more. Then you can ask, do I need more to know more details? Most of the time, you don't. Because the thing is, most of the time, it's something you saw, something you heard, something, or somebody told you something, and it was something you couldn't process, you didn't understand, and then you reacted with anger or fear or whatever. But I spoke with lots of clients, and we tapped into what was actually said, or what did the person do when you watch something. And most of the time it's something completely normal, banal, but you as 1.5-year-old or 2-year-old couldn't process this in the right way because nobody explained it to you. And then you said, alarm, fear. I need to be protected. This is something I don't understand. And then that's why you are storing then this information in your system. And what I do, I go back into this situation. I figure out, okay, I was this old, and then I figure out, do I need to know more about this problem? No. And then, so can I let go this problem? I don't know. It was nothing really important. When I would know today, I would laugh about it and say, wow, this is causing this problem. No, it's something completely normal. And then I work with in this case, with my inner child. We release this fear that is stored in my system just by imagining that this fear and all these stored emotions flow out of your body. And then the same thing, you can, if there are some, then I check if there are some beliefs connected to it, and I can delete these beliefs. It's a frequency. I delete this frequency out of the energy, out of the energy system. Maybe there is you forgive your parents or yourself. So it depends on the situation, but that's kind of the process. And then I just check if I looked into everything that is connected to this situation, and I work as long as I get, now everything is released, it's good. And then I know this situation is kind of healed, it's out of my system. I hope I made it a little bit clearer to you.
There's one way to find out. I'm going to try and explain to you what I understand, how you do what you do, and that will probably get you an understanding of where I am or where we are as people who are listening to you. And you can kind of tell us, oh no way, that's not what I do. And hopefully we understand a little bit more about what you do. So what I understand what you really do is we all want energy that is good for people. We all want to be happy. We all want to be excited. We all want good energy. We all want to be around people who are happy, who are winning, who are making things happen, who are excited. I think this is where we all want to be. If we can achieve that, none of us is going, oh, I want to be depressed. So like, I don't think anyone wants those energies. And so for you to help us, I think the work you do is like mastering or managing energy. I think that life moves on. I think that the world continues to throw things at us. I think that every day anything could get you somewhere, but I think that the work you do helps. It kind of helps me get anchored in the feeling that it will be okay. And so if it's a new thing that is triggering me, what I am picking from you is that there is a process to turn around that and not make it trigger you, because there is a way to turn around what that thing means so that it doesn't mean that thing in the future. So when I understand what the process is, or when I heard you say, it was more like, okay, you're depressed or you're angry or you're sad or whatever the thing is, you're feeling fear. And you go, okay, why am I feeling like this? And I would imagine for the first time, you probably sit in a Zoom room and take me through the process, because I have no idea how to get there. So I would imagine that for the first couple of times, you would sit me and try and help me go back to whatever the place we are going to find. So what I think is my anger right now is coming from an energy, I don't know, it's like a print that I have in my DNA that makes that thing mean something, maybe from childhood and all of those things. So what you do is you help me trace back, get just enough to understand that this is the thing that is causing me to be angry, and to say, yeah, this thing, is it serving you to think of it like that? And maybe I go, no, and you go, so maybe the thing is more like, so what do you want the experience to be next time? And they're like, oh, I don't really want this thing to affect me because it doesn't mean much. I didn't think really that my mom hated me. I don't think that I'm not worthy. I don't believe the thing right now. And once I say that, then maybe together we are coming up with a new belief, which is more like, this could happen, but it doesn't mean this thing. I refuse to let it mean this thing and to let it control my state. And I think that is what you mean by like release. So when that thing happens now, it's the same meaning is not there. And so you could say the same thing and nothing happened. But I think that if there's a new thing, then I could be triggered again, but the same process will clear until your energy is so clear that the storm could be going on and you go, you'll be fine. And the third step is to keep checking and keep checking and keep checking every time that happens. But I think eventually then you're showing me how to fish. Eventually you're empowering me to do this process by myself, which is what mastering my energy means, that I can feel things, I can be angry or sad or I don't know. Life can happen to me, but I do have the ability to come back to the energy I want in a matter of minutes. So what could have thrown you off? Maybe let's say something happened, like your husband wakes up and says, I need a divorce. That is meant to maybe trigger us if it's like out of the blue. But then there is a way to kind of center back and go, how much do I want to go with this anger, this frustration, this moment? It could happen in 5 minutes, and then you decide, oh, okay. And then you decide, him leaving me doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of love. And we could go through the process, and that never has to mean that I'm not worthy of love. That just means maybe whatever, we did not work out. Doesn't mean I'm not worthy, doesn't mean I'm a bad woman, it doesn't mean any of those things. It just means we didn't work out with this guy. And I could also choose to say he wasn't good enough for me. That's kind of where I am. I would love for you to kind of go in and dissect and give me the right way to look at the work, because that's where my mind is in.
Wow, very cool summary. I love it. Yeah, I can just add in a way it's exactly as you said, right? You have some plans and you wanna or as you no in a way, let's put it in a different way. In a way, life just happens, right? But many things or everything actually that is in your life has something to do with you. And you can decide, I like it or I don't like it. And if I don't like it, then or you don't like it, then I have a process on how to work on it, right? And so you have more stuff in your life that you like. And actually, as you said, yeah, life just happens. And if you have like these tools on hand to know how to deal with such situations, you, exactly as you pointed out, you're much more resilient, because of course it's not no fun and not, it makes you sad or whatever when you're getting, your husband wants to divorce or whatever. It does something with you, but maybe you even fall in a hole, but you don't fall in a deep hole and you don't stay there long because you have the tools to get out of this hole. So that's what I wanted to say. And it makes you so much more resilient because you can manage. And then you have the energy to get out of it, and you have the tools to get stuff out of your system you don't want and you don't need anymore. And I think this is so important already right now, because there's so many changes now with artificial intelligence, whole societies are changing now. And you need to be more flexible to adjust to all these changes. And the more you know, yeah, I can do that, the easier it is for you. And especially when you have a family and you need to take care also of your family, they need some more, a pillar they can rely on. And you can be that pillar if you know how to deal with the situations.
I love it. I think there is a saying, was it from that you're not a tree if you don't like where you are, move. So I think for you, I am kind of what I'm thinking is you're not a tree. So if you don't like what you're seeing in your life, change it, because you have the power to change what is happening in your life. I like it.
Exactly.
I like it. The way that
and I just offering some tools that I know they work, and they're pretty fast. So changes can, after already one session, you already feel a difference that things have changed.
The way that I look at the payoff of learning this work and mastering this work and being involved in this work, I feel like there's levels of awareness, if I can say that. And I'm probably not the best teacher for this because I do not know like consciously how I got to the level I am at. But I feel like there's this level of putting out fires and things just happening to you. And so you're just reacting to life. Someone says something, you just get angry, you know. Something happened, you fall into depression. When life is happening to you, I feel like there's that level when life is happening to you, you're always reacting, you're always putting out fire. I think that there's a level, that is the level that you can be at. There's a second level, which I think I'm in that second level, but I don't know how I think I don't know how I goes there. But I'm in a level where it would be okay. Throw me in a pit, it's 10,000 meters deep. And once I'm down there, I am going, it'll be fun. This could be fun. Like, how do I get out of here? This could be fun. Like, that's my mindset. And so I feel like when the world hits me down, I go, wow, I wonder what the lesson is today. Like, what lesson do I have to pick up? And like, I am no longer going, the world is over. Oh my God, I am so dead. Oh my God, this is so, but I think I moved to another stage now of, it'll be all right. There is
That's so
nothing
powerful.
that can be, I mean, like, how could it possibly get worse? You know? And I think there's another level and another level, and don't ask me the other levels because I don't know that they are there. But when I get there, I think I would realize that maybe there's a level beyond, maybe fine. The universe has my back, which is where I tend to be. There's no way I wouldn't be here if there wasn't a way to get out. So the universe has my back. The answer will come. But maybe there's another level and another level and another level. And I think that Cornelia's work is moving you from the first one. Would you say more into the second level of awareness, or is it, how does that look like for you? Because I feel like there's this mode of things are happening to me, and then there is mode of things could happen all at once, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Like I have control of my life. I feel like that's kind of the transition. How does that, is it, how does it reflect on your end based on your truth? The shift for people when they really embrace this work, true.
Yeah, I think you described very well. And you know what I also do is, because if such things happen, or most of the time you feel overwhelmed and anxious, there's a lot of fear. And in this state, of course, your brain and your mind doesn't work properly. So I always recommend also that, or I show people how they can let go their fear. So to work on their fear first. So then you're open for solutions and opportunities. And that's why what you mentioned at the beginning, we spoke about it. Like if you have only low energy and you're on lower frequencies, then you're really in survival mode. You just try to get through the next day through your long to-do lists. Whereas when you have more energy, you have this energy buffer around you, and you then see the opportunities and solutions. And why do you see them? Because you have the energy to execute them. You can actually do something, and that's why you see them. And that's why people with more energy or high energy people perceive life so much easier, as you said before, because they know, I have the tools, I can handle that, I can deal with it, and I can get out of there. And this makes them so strong.
It's funny because for me, I didn't even have the tools. Like I've never had the tools. Like I'm very new to this energy work. And so I never looked at it as tools. But I was just in this place of certainty that, no, it'll be fine. What could be worse? It'll be fine. Like I think I've been through things and my mind has got to a point where there is always an answer. And I don't even care if I have the tools or not. Like I know that something will show up and we'll go through it. And so I think it's that state of calm and confidence, and then knowing that you're going to. Cornelia, I'd love to kind of.
But here I just add one thing.
Yeah.
I can feel that. I can really feel you. But I learned that not everybody and maybe you in the audience are not so confident and so sure about it. And that's where I step in. And you and of course I think you have your own methodology how to deal with these situations you developed on your own, which is perfect, right? So you don't need it because you know what to do. But there are some they don't know, and that's why I'm here, and that's what I'm always teaching is I'm showing them kind of a starter toolkit. I show you can use this and this to get out of it or to solve that situation, but make it your own, make your own out of it. How does it work perfectly for you? And we are all unique, right? We all have our unique frequencies, so there is no one fits all. And that's what I'm encouraging people to do their own thing, right? This is how you can start it, but make it work for you.
I think what I was saying is I wish I had a formula, because I think I do it in the subconscious. So I'm being challenged to now think, what if that was a formula where people could just go through the lion's mouth, and once they were in the lion's mouth, they could say, it's going to be all right. Because I don't have a formula. I don't have a system, like a step-by-step how I get there. And I just wonder if this is the next level of my work, to really go back and create something. What is the system or the process that you do? I think your work is very helpful because you're very articulate and clear, step by step, how you move from here to here. Trust me, I'm surrounded by everyone who does not have the mechanism. So it's very obvious to me that people need these little steps. And in my head, I assumed that it was supposed to be natural, and it's not. I know you help people behind the scenes. I know you have containers that support people do this work. I know you offer on the show the support. I would like to talk about that so that the listener can know where to go to take the first step and get hand-holding support as they go through this system, all this process of moving from where they are to mastering or increasing or improving their energy.
Thank you so much. And of course, I'm offering one-to-one, but my flagship in a way is my 4 months mastermind. Because what I've noticed is that to get from A to B, and if it's really a bigger thing, it takes some time, and also takes some transformation in between. And so people, they come really with most of the time a very goal they want to achieve, like within the next 6 months. And then we work on these blockades why they haven't reached their goal yet. Because if they would know how to reach it, they would have already achieved it, right? So most of the time there are some energetic, mental, emotional, or even spiritual blockers behind it. And we look at all these different levels. That's also my methodology. And to remove all these blockades so that the person then can, have not only the energy to achieve it, but they kind of transform their energy to be the person to hold the goal energetically. You are ready to be that person. And that takes some time, right? And so that's why I'm offering this 4 months mastermind. And, the next one will start in September, and we just finished the last one. And, the beauty of doing it in a mastermind, and why I recommend that, even on top of one-to-one, is that the group itself creates a powerful energy. It's a really powerful energy container, and there it's so much easier to transform because others are holding the energy and the space for you. So in a way, you have a little Tony Robbins event in your personal Zoom room, and that's why it's so powerful. And just one of my last participants, she came with the vision. She wants to be a speaker, right? So we set some goals for where she should be after 6 months. And it was, and she really, you know, it's not always fun. I have to really to point it out, to work on your energy. So in a way, she had some mandate she was working on during these 4 months. She lost one mandate, and it was very, you know, but here, yeah, it was difficult for her, but in a way, she understood that this mandate was holding her back from achieving what she wanted. So she had to let go first. And so she felt in this safe space, or she was in this self space. And now she has so many new clients, and she, you know, was invited to already 3 speaking gigs, paid speaking gigs actually. And so she is now on this route to going to achieving her goals. And that's what I'm saying. It sometimes it turns out, oh no, this is not what I wanted, because now it looks like it's bad for me. But actually in the long run, it was good for her, and she got a different mandate that is in line with her values.
I think this energy work can have results that we didn't even think when we started. Because what the problem you're trying to solve is not even going to be like the payoff. Because I feel like you come because you're just tired of being in this low energy, in this low frequency. But that could just really create a ripple effect in life, in areas of life and business. I don't know that there is a curve or a measure to what can happen when you change your energy. Because when you change your energy, you attract people who, you just attract different kinds of things. And I don't want to even think that it's just business. I think it just moves all around life and creates this little, I think it's just a ripple effect. It can just help you in endless areas. I do love, I think you have my best structure when I buy programs. I want my one-to-one, but I also want the community. And I love that that's what you offer. You want your one-to-one for your privacy, but you also do want to tap into the bubble of your community, the energy of everybody else. Because sometimes you really don't even believe you deserve more. And you need to be around people who kind of slayed that giant to feel, to kind of move up until you don't. Sometimes you need to consume other people's oxygen to be able to go, okay, there's enough oxygen here. And so I do love the mastermind element, and I love the one-to-one touch, because I feel like there's a place for both of those things. What I'd like to do is include links in the show notes. If you're on the podcast platform or video, check in the notes. There will be links to connect with Cornelia. There'll be links to book a free. You offer free course?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
It's called Personal Energy Strategist session. And then you really come with one problem or one situation, and we look into it, what's behind. And sometimes we can even start already working on it.
Okay. So there will be a chance for you to experience the work without paying. And
exactly,
that's helpful. There is the container and the mastermind where you can get paying and get ahead and really just stay in energy. But there is also going to be, this is how you can get to her on social media. This is what she's offering for free. So like wherever you're at, there will be a place to start. Because everyone is at a different place right now. We'll check in the show notes and there will be all the ways that you can start. But I'm in the mindset of please move and do something. Do something. Book that for getting the room. Do something. There is learning and then there is being, and I feel like those two don't sit in the same container. There's so much education, millions and millions of podcasts where you're learning these things. But what I've discovered is until you move, until you get in the room, until you do that thing, all you will be is a sponge. Can you imagine how many professors are broke? Can you know, do you know around you someone who has a PhD and they have, this is why, I don't know, I am not saying anything about teachers, but that is why teachers don't get paid well. Because information is not necessarily as valuable as we think. And so, yeah, your goal is not to be a teacher, is it? So if you're going to change your life, then stop being a professor and stop trying to get a PhD. And I am saying this in all respect, professors and PhD holders.
because I respect you so much, because I was like, I am not that head. I don't want another qualification. I even struggle getting certified in something because I just believe it does not have credibility to me, if it makes sense. I just feel like I need the school of hard knocks. I need to do things. I need to work with people. That is where I feel so if I am going to get a certificate, I want a certificate from the school of hard knocks. Like, it's just my mindset, maybe it's my block, but I believe that learning and learning and learning does not change your life. What changes your life is when you get in the room and you do what you do, and you start to experience things that you want. And so on this podcast, unfortunately, I would love to push you and say, get in the room, book the call, move, because everything happens when you move. There's a few things you can do to help this channel grow. The premise of this channel is I will get people with work that can change your life, and we will put it in front of you. And the biggest thing you can do for me is get this episode and share it with one person that could use this shift in energy. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's somebody in your community. But when they start speaking, you just think the energy is off. They get on video, they start speaking, and you're like, holy cow, kill me. Their energy is just off. I don't know how, in a loving way, you can share this with them, because we could all use a great different energy. So if there is a dear friend that you know needs that can lift their energy, I would love for you to share this message with them. This is the way we will share this message. The way we will grow this community is that you who is listening gets value and shares it with one person, who shares it with one person, who shares it with one person, who shares it with one person, and that's it. Nothing can beat that. No marketing can beat that. No ads can beat that. And so if you love Cornelia and you know someone that is just tired of this contraction and they want expansion, they want to raise their energy, they want to master their energy, they want to be resilient, so that even if everything happens, goes up and down, I don't know. It would be someone who you feel the world has really knocked down, and they could use the lift, they could use help someone lift up their spirit. This is what I think. If you would love to raise someone with this episode, do. There's other ways you can be involved in this community. One, subscribe. To follow wherever you're at. Read if you find much value. Review. Everything is graciously helpful along the way, and I believe that together we will build this community to wherever it goes whole. But now we're winding up, but I would love for you to jump in. If there was someone who could just jump in right now, because their hands are full, they have a minute or two or something, and they just landed on this piece, what do you want them to remember? They need to be told, and they're not about to go back on that. Or if there was something you wanted, even the person who's been with us, to remember. If you forget everything you said, this is what I want you to forget. Oh, that is.
I think could boil it down to one sentence. Your personal energy is your most valuable asset.
Master your energy, master it.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for today. Thank you for being such an amazing guest for us to make your contribution to the community.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for guiding me, or asking all these amazing questions. I've never been in such an interview before. I really loved it, and I really enjoyed how you wrapped it up and put it into your own words and made it so much more understandable, and yeah, snackable for your audience, for your amazing audience. And I'm so grateful I got the chance to speak to them and to you. Thank you so much, Prima.
You're welcome. And for you, my variable listener, I really appreciate you taking your time. You deserve your flowers every day. When I forget to give you the flowers, know that you deserve them. There is one thing that I love, and that is when you're open. We're just improving and getting better every day. And that's why I thought, you know, there is more. We are the made for more preneurs. We know there's more, and we are out to get it. So I see you. I appreciate you. I celebrate you. And I look forward to meeting you in your platforms.
Me too. Me too.
That is it, my friend. To listen to more exclusive interviews like this one, simply go to the World's Best Kept Secret podcast.com and select interviews based on preferred topic.